Welcome back. You're watching Real Talk with Dan with the Eastside Real Estate team. And our next guest today is Ngina Shulman with Lotus Media. We'll be speaking about how to not choke while you're talking. No, we're actually going to be speaking about how to preserve memories before it's too late. And Gina is a proud mom of two beautiful kids and the owner of Lotus Media. She and her husband, Kirk, work tirelessly to ensure your videos and photos are treated with care and future-proof for many generations to enjoy. And Gina attended Dartmouth College and grew up in the DC area and was working for tech companies like AOL. You guys remember that one? Before finally moving to the fantastic Pacific Northwest. Welcome to the Northwest. And Gina, I know you've been here, what now, three years, 4 years?
I think it's going on 7 years. So
Oh
I think I
my
need to
gosh,
stop.
7 years.
I think I need to stop saying that I'm new here, even though I do feel like I'm still new here. So thank you.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, I would show you guys all my wedding videos and photos because I'm a fan of Ngina's product. But we had a bunch of photos all on in boxes, like these acid-free boxes and all that kind of stuff. And we're like, okay, yeah, cool. And for everybody here on this panel that I know, you remember back in the day when the photos were you had to actually take a bunch of photos and hope they turned out, then went and get them developed, right? So we got those all transferred to digital, and so it's been a lot of fun. But Ngina, in your own words, tell me what it is that Lotus Media does.
Well, in my words, Lotus Media really is a company that helps preserve your memories for generation after generation. I've been thinking a lot about that lately with the fires that have been going on everywhere, that you lose a physical copy of those photos and they're gone. You can't replace them. You lose those moments in time forever. So I really think it's important that you preserve those things, and we can put those on a flash drive. And once you have them on a flash drive, I highly suggest people putting them in the cloud. So then if something should happen to your hard drive in a fire or a natural disaster, that you still have those memories to look back on. Pictures and words and sound are really powerful reminders to get you back to a time. I'm sure that you look at your wedding pictures and you can see a certain thing in it, and you remember a certain moment that was going on that day, or you remember how everything felt during your wedding day. So what we really do is making sure that those moments in time get preserved forever.
So tell me some of your bigger success stories. I know you have a ton of them, of folks that have brought stuff to you. Maybe they didn't even know what they had, and their testimonials after receiving what you guys did for them.
Yeah, so some really great stories that I have recently. I have two that are actually come to mind. Is someone thought that they had a tape of a parent who had passed, and they couldn't get the tape to play on any of their machines, and they had kind of just decided that the tape was null and void, and that it just didn't work. And it turns out that the tape was actually a PAL tape, which is a European format tape. So they couldn't play it in any of their machines, but we could play it in our machines. So this tape that they had been taking from place after place that they thought, they were holding on to because it said, their father's name on it. They were holding on to it because they really thought something was on it, even though they couldn't see it. So it was just really wonderful to give this person 30 minutes of seeing their father, which was really beautiful.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting to consider the whole process because clearly most physical documentation deteriorates over time, right? So time is kind of the essence. Exactly. What are some of the things that you are doing or able to do on older documents? Is it still possible to get them saved, or does it require a special process? Or
yeah, so we can go as far back as reels. So the 8mm reels, we just added audio reels to our library of things that we can digitize. And I will say that all of those things deteriorate. So we don't do any editing to them. So the quality you have on the tape currently is the quality that you get when we transfer it. So time is really of the essence on all of those things. So if you don't get it done, once it deteriorates, there's not much you can do. I think television and all those CSI shows have made people believe that you can just kind of
Bring it
re-put them
back from the
together.
dead, use a certain carving
Exactly.
process or something like that. Yeah.
But I am here to tell you that that is not fact.
Okay, what is
And we
the,
actually
go ahead.
go ahead. As we actually just had a client the other day who had worked with us a year ago and was actually affected by the fires in California. And he happened to ask for lifetime backup. We were able to get him all of his tapes back, which was also something that was really cool.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is the oddest thing people have asked you to digitize?
Oh, the oddest thing recently was ABCs. So someone had a cassette tape of them teaching their brother ABCs. So it was I mean, how long does it take you to say your ABCs? 10 seconds? So it was a 10-second tape of a maybe 5 or 6-year-old teaching a 3-year-old to their ABCs, which, to me, I'm like, okay, but it was really, really special to them. So that's something that they wanted to hold on to.
Yeah, I think I remember we sent you little cassettes that my wife had recorded, talking to the kids when they were little, and
Yeah, you'd be surprised how much voice really it really hits a nerve with people hearing the voice of someone else. Yeah.
well, because you kind of get used to their voices over time, and you can't ever really hear it again until you go
Yeah.
back, right? And same with the video quality.
Yeah. So
What are some of the bigger jobs? I mean, so we're talking about individuals, right? And I think the conversation, especially around the wildfires, are great. But I mean, you've also shared with me some pretty significant jobs that you guys do. Let's talk about those.
Yeah, so we've worked with most of the big companies here in the Seattle area. We've worked with Starbucks, we've worked with Boeing, we've worked with a lot of the big companies here to digitize their videos. And in most cases, it's PR materials that they want preserved for a lifetime, or like a Christmas party footage or something like that. Our training videos, we've done videos for all sorts of companies in the area. I really highly suggest educational establishments, especially like a year like this year where we're all online and no one was really expecting it. There was a lot of things you can do to take some of those old materials that are still very good teaching tools now to put those online. And also any religious organization. We've worked with a couple of churches and churches in the area, and people like to go back and look at old sermons. So that's something also that's been really interesting to think about. Those type of businesses, people do like to go back and look at old sermons. People do like to remember the Easter service when their daughter turned 5. So those are some big companies, some big things that we've done for organizations.
All right. So now, from a practical point of view, how do people get in touch with you, and how does that process, and how long does it take?
Yeah, so the practical part of it is to get in touch with me. The best way is email, support@lotusmedia.us. And the really great thing about us, and the reason why we started our company, is that we wanted local people to have a safe, secure way to drop off their precious memories that are not replaceable, and they don't have to put them in the mail. So we do take mail-in orders, but we've had people drive as far as Canada to bring us their tapes because they didn't want to put them in the mail. So that's something that you should know. We do have a drop-off in Bellevue where you can do that. And our turnaround time currently is 10 business days, which is the fastest in the industry. So any of the big companies that you go to, no one's going to do it faster than us. And we do everything in-house in the United States.
Yeah, mom and pop shop. It's not
Exactly.
giant warehouse.
Exactly.
I think that when it comes to entrusting your memories, right? That's the whole idea here. Not that you can't send it off to a warehouse, but the folks in the greater Seattle area consider the value too is there, right? Because you guys are pretty much below the big major competition.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, awesome. I really thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I think this is something, especially given the wildfires, that it would be really smart. And if you've just been putting it off, reach out to Lotus Media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on the web at lotusmedia.us, right?
Correct.
And what's that email address one more time?
The email address is support@lotusmedia.us. And for those people that want to give a call, the number is 855-LTS Media.
Awesome. Great service, great local service. And Ngina, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. Next up.